Okay, now we are in the last step of sending the data through the WebSocket. If you remember, we have a WebSocket which we created before, and we are connecting to it through Postman to receive some data from the backend or from the server. So for that, I need to have something like to send the updated prices. So I would say those prices can be sent, or the price list can be sent through the WebSocket somehow. So for that, I would make, for example, an emit. So I am going to emit a message which has the key called crypto or crypto list, and then I will pass the data which are returned from the API. So instead of this console.log, we can have the socket handler itself, which is defined already on the top, and then .emit, and then we can give a new key. We call it again like crypto, and this crypto we are having or overload it with the price list. So I will pass here the price list itself. Let's check if we are not getting an error. So after price list, instead of the console log, I am emitting this message. Let's connect to our WebSocket through Postman. So let's close everything which we have here. I don't save. And also, okay, we have here the WebSocket already opened. So I will connect to WebSocket using Socket.io as I showed you before. And we will have like another, again, the URL, HTTP, localhost, and the port is 3000. And then I will create event, call this event as crypto, and listen on connect. So we will click on connect, and then we will have messages. And as you see, we got the hello crypto client, but I didn't get anything like a price list or something like that. This is because sometimes that can happen, that the Axios is executed before the connection, because of course when you run the application, this is getting executed and then Axios is already executed. So for that, we need to send the data every 5 seconds, let's say, or every 10 seconds. And for that, if you remember, we created or we called something called set interval, which is a function in JavaScript to execute something every specific seconds or every specific milliseconds. So I will put this one like in a constant, and I will give it, for example, as a function. So you know you can define a function in multiple ways. One of them, you can create a constant and give it a name, for example, get prices, like this. And then in this get prices, it will be equal to a function, and it has like this. So it will be a row function. So this arrow function will open like a function, and you close it at the end like this. So when you call this function anywhere in your application, it will be executing the code which is inside that function. So it will call Axios and all of those information. So for that, at the end of my application, I will say set interval. So this method I showed you before, it will have a callback, and the callback will contain a function, and another parameter is the milliseconds, how every milliseconds will be executed the code which will be placed here. So I will say that I want to execute it every, let's say now, 5 seconds, we can say. So every 5 seconds, I will get updated the prices. I am going to call this function every time I have set interval, or every 5 seconds. So I will just say here, get prices like this. So the same function which I have created here. Let's save everything. Now we are going to our WebSocket and connect to it again. And we are listening now to the WebSocket. So as you see, now I got the first data. So every 5 seconds, I will get a new data. And all of this data is the prices of the cryptos. So every 5 seconds, I am calling my API to get the data. And this is exactly what we want for our application. I want to show to the user somehow live in the application of the front end, either it's a web application or mobile application, that I open a WebSocket and update the prices every 5 seconds or every specific time I specify. So I would say here that, okay, we have the crypto, it was, or the Bitcoin was 43,000, and now let's say the updated price 43,798, and here 801. You see it's getting updated. So through the WebSocket I am getting the updated data. As you remember, we have some limitation on this API, so try to stop your application to not always get executed this API, to not lose your package, which is limited to, as we talked before, to 20 requests per minute and 1000 requests per day. Of course, if you want more, you can subscribe to them and it's not that expensive. Of course, there are a lot of APIs. I selected this one because it has like some dynamic and it's providing us with some simple data, not so much complicated data. And of course, there are many APIs. I'm going to attach them at the end of this section, so you can have a choice like Messari or something else, and all of them following the same concept. You just need to investigate in the documentation of that API, and then you can use the URL of the API to fetch the data. But first you need to see what are the return data to know how to do the mapping and send the data through the WebSocket.